Hey, babe.
Given that's how we live it, don't be mad at the system, it's simply how we've existed. I hear a lot of people talking like they politicians and choose to be an accountant because it's safe in the business.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I love you. God loves you best. Hello, hello, hello. You are tuned in to Ronnie P TV. I am yours truly, Ronnie P. And tonight we will be reviewing Married at First Sight Season 10, the finale. Yes, it has come to a head and it is finally over, ladies and gentlemen. And we made it together. Tonight's episode was very eventful. It was interesting. It kept my attention. And I'm very pleased. Special thanks and recognition and round of applause to Mr. Kevin Frazier, who was our endeared host tonight. He did an excellent job of calling people out, stepping on necks, and giving it to them the way it needed to be. So, episode starts out with Derek and Katy. We learn a lot of things that we did not know, and now we see how people really feel, i.e. Derek. Derek really made an effort to try and make this work. Katy, to no avail. She just was not the one, or the 2 or the 10. She was not the one for him. I don't care what they tried to do. She was never going to be satisfied because her interests lie somewhere else, whether she wants to admit it or not, but it was not with him. We also come to learn that Miss Fang had a thing with her ex, purely carnal pleasure. We knew that he didn't want her, well, despite she might have wanted him back, but he didn't want her back. He just wanted to hit the skins and quit it. Hit him and quit, you know. But the highlight of the conversation, the initial conversation between Katy and Derek, was when Derek expressed, after being asked by Kevin, did he get his heart broken, or was he disappointed when she said that they should, you know, call it quits or go their separate ways. And he said, well, his heart wasn't broken, and while he was hurt, he wasn't heartbroken because Katy made it easy for him not to fall in love with her. Just saying it again just makes me tickle inside. And I think at that moment, she felt like the bottom of a shoe with manure on it. And if she didn't, she should have. Because for someone to say to you, you made this very easy. You made this easy for me because you're not a lovable person. You're not someone who's easy to love. That would hurt my feelings because I don't want to be unlovable. I don't want to be a person that makes it difficult to love. I want to love and I want to be loved. So for him to say that on national television just made my heart smile. Then we have Austin and Jessica. They were the epitome of an experiment goal. They set the mark. They worked through whatever they had to. They're still married. They're still in bliss. They're still working and growing in love. I think it's excellent. What more could we ask for? That's what this show is all about. But it wouldn't be TV without couples like Michael and Mika. We go on to Michael and Mika, and Kevin asked Mika to say something nice, pretty much say something nice about Michael and what was the nicest time that they had throughout the journey. And I'm not going to take as long as Mika did to answer that question, because I don't think I would have ever answered the question. But she did come up with something. She said the catamarans. The catamaran was a very nice engagement between she and Michael. They got to share some positive experiences and looking back over from where they were now, from where they began the wedding and things of that nature. And the same question was asked to Michael. Now, this is the thing. This is the shade. Michael said the wedding day. So basically he's saying after the wedding day, it all went to shit. I mean, at least she took her time to think of something beyond day one. But he said that was the nicest memory that he had, day one. Hey. Then we talk about Michael's inconsistencies, if you will. The lies. He gave a half-assed apology, and she accepted, as she's done so graciously. And then she extended an apology. She looked back over the interactions and how she came across at times, and she wasn't so proud of herself. And she said for those reasons and how she behaved, she truly apologized to him. Now, this is my thing with Michael. I can't with a guy who constantly rolls his eyes. Like, maybe it's a tick, maybe it's a defense mechanism, I don't know. But when someone is speaking and you're constantly rolling your eyes, that's a problem for me. During this part, I don't know if it was to avenge Mika or if these were his true feelings, if this was Kevin's true sentiment when he expressed to Michael, honestly, that he didn't believe he was a yoga instructor. He's like, after looking at that scene, I just don't believe that you're a yoga instructor and that you teach at anybody's yoga studio. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm like, Kevin, what you are? You didn't try. You executed and succeeded successfully. Excellent. But if that were me, I would say, Kevin, is that your name? Okay, you are cordially invited, Kevin, to come to my yoga studio, and I would like you front row and center during my instruction. Do you accept the invitation? But Michael couldn't say something that quick with it because he knows that Kevin was telling the truth. That's his kryptonite. Then we move on to Taylor and her wig. I want to know how much this install cost, because she has been hanging on to this. If this was 5 months after filming, so she's had it in for a good 6 months. That was 5 months after filming. She's had it in for a good, 7 months? 8 months? The experiment is for 8 weeks, 2 months. Then they saw them 5 months after filming. So yeah, it's about 7 months. Okay. I just wanted to burn it. I think that she should let it burn. I really do. Because it's struggling just like her to keep up an appearance. Her and her wig. And my thing about Taylor is she just doesn't come across genuine or very honest. She has a lot of narcissistic traits. I won't call her a narcissist, but she has a lot of narcissistic traits. And she doesn't do well with accepting responsibility. She's not very accountable for for her own actions. When they were discussing the meeting or this ambush at the bar with her new guy, where I guess Brandon must work, and this is her reasoning behind it. Kevin asked her, out of all the bars in Washington, you had to go to this one where he works? And she's like, she gave some excuse or some reasoning. And my thing was, but you know this is where he works. Why would you come to a bar where you may run into this guy? And don't tell me it slipped your mind, because it didn't. I wouldn't put it past Taylor if she actually called the establishment prior to arrival to see if he might be there. I'm just saying. But she wanted to make it seem as though, as she's done the entire time, as if Brandon was the aggressor and he was the antagonist. But no, girlfriend. That's what happens when you tell long stories. You tell on yourself. She said that she saw Brandon saw her. Let's get past that part. She says they were going down the stairs and they were leaving the establishment. Brandon came behind her and was like, yeah, ha ha ha, I see you, B. I caught you on camera. I got you on camera, da 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 da. That's when you continue to walk down the stairs and say, it shouldn't matter. You like, but no, she said, and I quote, so I turned around and went back up the stairs. And usually once you turn around and you go back to where things can ensue and turn into, it escalate and become an altercation, that makes you the aggressor, because you were walking away. So you're supposed to continue to walk away because you don't want any engagement or interaction with this person, and you don't want it to get bigger than what it is. And you were with a guy, so he's only going to go so far. And I don't even think that if you were with a man, a real man, that that man is going to allow you to even be called out your name by another man and nothing's going to happen. I just don't see Brandon as that type of guy. Brandon looks like, okay, I see a dude, so I'm going to chill. And I really don't see Brandon going over to this guy, having a conversation with him. Like, if he did that, I just don't see it happening. And so I don't believe it. I don't believe anything that Taylor said. But ultimately, as a result of this whole issue that ensued, then they both got arrested and they went to jail. And they both have restraining orders against each other. I think this is the first time in Married at First Sight history that it's gotten this big and this bad. So that's a lot. I think the experts need to recalibrate and go back to the drawing board and really do double, triple assessments on who they're selecting. But in regards to Taylor, it's been said that she wasn't a first pick. She was her decision to slip in because the real person that had been selected for Brandon pulled out at the last minute. So Taylor, who is an alleged couch surfer, lives with her mom, and does not work or is not affiliated with Johns Hopkins, was not first pick. So it would be plausible to believe that, just like Mindy felt about Zach, that she was doing it for a platform to be more noticed. As far as television, I can go for that, because back earlier in the episodes, Brandon also mentioned that she had been trying to go out for other TV shows. So anything that she says out of her mouth just goes in one ear and out the other. And Kevin even asked her about the restraining order. She made it a point to express how Brandon had to stay away from her because of the restraining order. And I'm like, you both have restraining orders against each other. So not only does he have to stay away from you, you have to stay away from him. And Kevin pointed that out, and vice versa, because she didn't want to acknowledge that. And as I said before, she only makes an effort to go out of her way to make this man look bad. You don't have to try and make him look bad, Taylor. He succeeded all on his own doing that. So all you got to do is just be honest. But why would I believe that? Another reason. Why would I believe that he was the aggressor in this situation when you were the one who blocked and barricaded him into, I don't know, was it a bathroom or closet or something, wouldn't let him out. All we could hear is, don't touch me, get your hands off of me. He was trying to get out of the bathroom, and then he started to film you. He was like, because I don't trust you and I'm going to have evidence so I can protect myself. Because all you heard was boom, 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 boom in that bathroom when that door went. And so you expect us to believe now that he pushed you or he hit you? Nah. He might be verbally abusive, but I really don't see Brandon putting his hands on you as an aggressor. I see him putting his hands on you to try and remove himself from a situation. And I don't see that he went out of his way to look you up. I feel like you went out of your way to go to the bar that he works at to make whatever type of point you were trying to make, and it failed. You ended up in jail, and now you have that on your record. So congratulations to you. And then we have Zach and Mindy. I just want to know that where did he get glasses from out of nowhere? Like, we never saw him with glasses. Well, we never saw him reading anything. I'm not going there, but never saw him with glasses ever. And so now all of a sudden we see him with specs, and I was trying to look to see if there was actually a lens in the frame. Like, is there a lens in there? Because, you know, people perpetrate all the time. But I think that I really think that Kevin would have called him out. I don't know why I want to call him AJ. Sorry, AJ. But yeah, I think Kevin would have called him out on that. Anyway, Mindy says that she is really, really happy with the decision that she made, and she can breathe again. I'm really happy for her. I wish she wouldn't have colored her hair because I liked it the way it was on her before. This just looks like an ashy blonde, and it's not a good look. Zach looked like Zach. Didn't miss him. I mean, it could have kept him or left him. It didn't matter. But I do like how he tried to defend himself, and he was saying that he hadn't checked out. And Kevin called him out on it and was like, you never moved into the apartment. So how can you sit here and say that you hadn't checked out of the marriage when in fact you had never checked in? Will it go around in circles? Like, he just goes around in his circles, and nobody was here for the circles. And he told him, learn a better communication because you're talking circles and nobody understands what you're trying to say. Then we get on to the interactions. We see that Mindy's friend, I forgot her name, but Mindy's friend comes out and expresses that yeah, there was some interaction between Zach and Lindsay, and she really did believe that Zach was interested in her other than a platonic relationship. And we all knew that from the moment that it had been mentioned that they were engaging with each other behind Mindy's back. So he says that he no longer talks to Lindsay, even though he texted her accidentally and said, hey, call me when you get a chance. But he says he has a client named Lindsay also. If it's over with, why is Lindsay's number still in your phone? Lindsay's number should be deleted. That's what I don't like, when people keep telephone numbers and they be on that double back. Men are good for the double back. They'll keep a telephone number even after you've been asked to lose it. You still got it. Just LIG it. Let it go. But he says it was an error on his part, and Mindy just seems over it. She really doesn't care. And he just kept trying to explain himself, but it was to no avail. And then we have the couples just discussing their journeys together separately. Another thing that I noticed was how Kevin was asking the group who all was involved in the court case, and there were a few people that raised their hand, including Mindy and Katy. They had to go to court and be there as character witnesses. Also, Michael was there as a character witness on behalf of Brandon. And this was the first time, the only time, that I have agreed with Michael. And Michael expressed, look, Brandon is not here to defend himself, and I don't feel comfortable just answering questions for this man on his behalf, and he's not even here to talk about it. So why are we even talking about it? Like, there was evidence. He had a video. I was looking at it from my vantage point. I don't feel like he was the aggressor, and the judge made his verdict. What else is there to say? But again, another reason with liars don't like it, and especially narcissists don't like it when you don't agree with them. So soon as Michael expressed his point of view and his opinion on what took place with the court proceedings, Taylor immediately spoke up and was like, well, I want to know what makes you feel that way, or what is it that you just don't understand, or what is it that you feel like is a lie? That's his point of view. That's his opinion. He's entitled to it. He doesn't believe you. It's okay. It's okay for him not to believe you. Does it change the truth if it's the truth? No, it doesn't. So that's just like if he thought you were ugly. Does it change the fact that 10 other people think you're beautiful? No, it just means that in his opinion, he thinks you're ugly. And he thinks that what you said was not true. Just accept it. So yeah, that was a point of view that I agreed with him. The judge went over all of the evidence. He listened to all of the statements and all of the testimony from the witnesses, and he made his decision that, look, both of you just need to stay away from each other. Don't talk to each other. Don't try and reach each other through other people. Just let it burn. And so there was something else said. I don't know if Mika made a statement or someone made a statement, but he immediately decided to just get up. He was over it. He was like, man, F this. I don't have time for it. Kevin went in there and talked to him. I don't like how Michael, I don't know why I can't remember his name. I guess because I want to forget them all. Michael brought up he felt offended, or he didn't appreciate what Taylor was trying to insinuate, being that Brandon is a black man and he's a black man. And he's like, okay, I'm a black man too, and she's a black woman. We're all black in this thing, but we can't negate and we can't deny that Brandon was an ass, and he showed his ass. And as us, as of the same color, there is no reason for him to portray and present himself in that nature, because that was what was offensive. That's what should have been offensive to Michael as a black man, for this black man to be on television showing his ass like that. But then again, how can we get Michael to see that point? Because his vision is a bit obscured. I mean, he lied an entire 8 weeks and showed no remorse or no feeling behind his lies. It was just, it was natural for him. It was second nature. So then we learn that Thoughtbot Katy wanted to have a secret rendezvous with Zach during the Christmas holidays. They decided to go out for drinks, and I was very shocked, very, very shocked. And I did not see that coming. I really thought that it might have been Derek and someone else, maybe Taylor. And I thought that Taylor might have reached out to Derek, not Derek reaching out to Taylor. But I guess that's not how it went. Katy decided to go over and see what was going on with Zach. And the fact that she reached out to Mindy afterwards because she felt bad about it, I think that's messed up. Like, if this is somebody that you say that you have gained a kinship or a friendship with, why would you go behind their back without talking to them about it first? I mean, in a sense, I mean, that is her ex, whatever the capacity. But I don't know. Different people have different reasonings. It's what it is. Es lo que es. C'est la vie. That's all I have for this episode. I'm not going to go anymore with it because I'm just glad that it's over. We see that we are going to be coming up to season 11, and it will be in New Orleans. I am so looking forward to it. Leave your comments in the comments section below. Let me know what you thought of this episode. I'd love to hear your thoughts on how you felt about the interaction and the engagement between Brandon and Taylor prior to their arrests. And do you really believe that Brandon was the aggressor in that matter? How do you feel about how Katy conducted herself during the reunion when it came to talking to Derek about her not wanting to discuss any of the negatives that eventually came out anyway? And how do you feel about Michael expressing that because Brandon wasn't there to defend himself or speak on his own behalf, that segment went on longer than it should have, and he should not have been made the spokesperson to speak for Brandon? Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to spend time with you. Again, don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, subscribe. Share this video with anyone that you know. And until next time, mwah.